The NBA is a disaster. Why I'm not buying Resident Evil 2, the reboot. Kevin Hypocrite Smith changes his tune on crowdfunding, and in a Patreon exclusive, changing it up a bit, talking about wrestling instead of politics, why Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch headlines WrestleMania. Hey, I have a lot to complain about, so let's do this.
The recently canceled podcast with Don Fry.
Hey, how goes it? So, saw this report saying that the NBA team values, according to Forbes, have tripled in the last 5 years. Why would that be the case? Could it be that the game has gotten so much better? No. Could it be that a billionaire overbought a team? He paid a little too much for it and everybody else wants a little too much? Is that what he did? That could be a big part of it, I feel like. Is the NBA branching out into gaming? Is that what everybody's looking at? You know, with their little NBA, what is it, live or 2K teams? The esports that are at the stadium of the basketball. Are they still doing that? No, it's a combination of things. Nothing one thing adding up to this. It's certainly not the game getting better. In fact, I think the NBA is in dire straits. Not long ago, they actually had a team losing money to the point that I think the league reacquired them. Didn't that happen to the New Orleans Hornets, now the Pelicans? I think that's what happened. I still think there's too many teams. There are maybe 8 relevant teams in the league with a roster of what, 30-some? How many of those teams actually have watchable games? How many of those games, even among the elite teams, are even watchable during the regular season? The regular season is bloated. 82 games so that we can have historic runs where somebody might beat the Bulls record. Oh wait, they did. And then they lose in the finals anyways. They're out of gas and these guys are giving up on the sport. You see these guys not playing defense because they don't want to be on Instagram the next day. Oh hey, go ahead and dunk. I don't want you to dunk on me. I don't want to be part of a meme. You just blaze right by. The hoop is over here. Have a good day. There's no defense. Your league's leading scorer gets away with traveling all the time to the point he makes a mockery of the rules. LeBron James is overhyped by the ESPN. ESPN basically has him on the payroll and functioning as some kind of PR arm of the NBA, hyping him up to try to keep the game relevant. Meanwhile, the guys who should be drawing a hype, say Steph Curry or Kevin Durant, are either being ignored, even though you could say Steph Curry's changing the game by getting shorter people more interested in shooting threes. Hell, even to the point that you have the Houston Rockets last year became the first team to shoot more threes than twos. Yeah, that actually happened. The three-pointer is what's changing the game, not LeBron James. Oh, but if Kevin Durant does something good, what do we have to do? We have to try to find some way to finagle him out of Golden State and put him in the New York Knicks. Who wants to play for the Knicks, a team that hasn't won a championship since 1973? No one, but the media would have you believe everybody wants to play there. They'll talk about Madison Square Garden being the holy of holies. They will use that term because they're operated out of there. They're getting the money from New York City to hype up New York City. And their way of going about this is to constantly pressure Kevin Durant until he moves again. It wasn't enough to take that talent out of Oklahoma City. Now they have to try to get it directly to New York City. I don't think he bites on this. Does Kevin Durant leave Oklahoma City because he wants to lose? No, but they're going to spin it. Well, you got your titles. Now it's time to rebuild the Knicks. What loyalty does he owe to them? It's absurd. There's little reason to watch during the regular season. The playoffs have, maybe half those teams have no chance of advancing because you have a series here. And this, I'm going to get a little bit into Tom Brady versus Michael Jordan here. You could make the case that Tom Brady has surpassed Michael Jordan on the GOAT list. Okay, he went 6 of 9. That's pretty good. I would take 6 of 9 over 4 for 4 with Joe Montana. So we got Tom Brady at the top of the champions list in the NFL. There's a ton of guys with 6 rings. Robert Horry, doesn't he have like 7? Like Steve Kerr has like at least 5. Dennis Rodman has 5. Scottie Pippen's got 6. Derek Fisher's got 5. Now, I tell you this because I'm saying 6 rings isn't that special in the NBA. There's guys with more than that. You look up the Boston Celtics of years old. And they'll show you right there. There are guys with more than 6 rings, definitely. But in the NFL, you lose one game in the playoffs and you're going fishing. You can have several bad games throughout the NBA playoffs, and the favorite will typically advance because the favorite has to lose 4 times. And when you got a team of badasses with no salary cap who have more control over winning and losing because they play both sides of the ball, it's a lot easier for the favorite to win. You can predict the NBA Finals champion before the season starts and be right more often than not. Despite the overinflated numbers of teams, it's a very predictable league because all of the talent is centralized. And you know what happens when something gets this predictable? Eventually, it gets boring and people tune out.